What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack. We just had on Terron Armstead, 12-year NFL vet, 5-time Pro Bowler, all-pro NFL stud, but he's officially retired now. So what's next? Well, finding top entrepreneurs to partner with. Terron explains on the show what he looks for in the entrepreneurs he's invested in. If you can, please like, subscribe, give us a follow, because we'll keep having the conversations that you've never heard before. All right, let's get right into it. Appreciate you joining us, man.
No, for sure.
Congratulations on retirement.
Thank you.
You got the, man, the fit is crazy. It's like, I feel like we're in Miami right now, even though you just came back from Miami. I mean, it looks like you're looking over the O-lineman realm, and it's like, yeah, I did that, like Thanos.
No, for sure. It's been great, man. This post-career life, this retirement life has been smooth.
Yeah. Well, it's been smooth for what, a couple weeks?
2 months.
2 months?
Like 2 months.
Well, we'll check back in like 2 years and see how you're feeling.
I'll be good.
You be good?
I'll be good.
Yeah. You just wrapped up an incredible career. Probably Pro Bowl, Saints, Miami. To keep it light, I got to ask you, if you choose one, you got to choose one. New Orleans Gumbo or Club Live?
New Orleans Gumbo.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really a club guy, so.
Okay. We had to ask because, the Miami, the whole Miami scene is nuts. But if you're on the Heat, Pat Riley's not letting you do that. But Mike McDaniel kind of looks like he'd go out to eat with you at a restaurant in Miami.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Mike could go out. He'll vibe.
Yeah.
He'll vibe.
He looks like he can have some fun.
He can vibe, for sure.
I heard you speak earlier, I think it was at Tulane Business Conference, where you said when you got to the league, it was the attitude was more like just focus on football and don't worry about anything else. Man, have times changed.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you speak to like what has changed since you were in the league, since retirement, in terms of the attitude of what's going on outside of football?
Yeah, no, is that much for sure. The mindset has changed, the thought process, even the initial mindset. Like 12 years ago when I came into the league, it was shut up and play. Like focus on your day job. It wasn't many brand collaborations going on. Wasn't seeking many opportunities, trying to collab with brands or be an ambassador. Only the top of the top, the very few guys. Drew Brees was like, he was on the face of everything. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, you know what I mean? So those guys were the ones that was inking deals and seeking deals and having those type of discussions. Fast forward to present day, it is a completely different world and mindset. The common athlete are much more business savvy, much more business aware, taking those steps and leaps to create those opportunities, to learn more about them. Coming out of college now with the NIL and these guys coming in with a significant amount of money is like, my first introduction to money was when I was a rookie. Their first introduction to money is a freshman in college, you know what I mean? So just that window, it allows them to get more experience, learn more, know more. So when they get in, it's a completely different mindset. I love it personally.
Yeah. Do you find yourself now with younger guys that you mentor, do you find yourself having to talk about how to balance devoting everything to your craft and football, but also discovering new business opportunities at the same time younger?
Yeah, for sure. Balance is a huge word for me, and it was something that I had to really pay attention to throughout my career because I got into business and got into just off the field activities pretty early. So that balance was huge for me, and I put in the work, as much as anybody that's ever played this game. So I know the sacrifices and how much goes into those deposits, and then I would took the time to do whatever I wanted to do off the field, whether it was music, business, traveling, a lot of time with my kids and all those things. So balance is a huge word in pro sports.
But I actually want to push back on that because I find you didn't get to where you got to without some serious, like, the opposite of balance, like all in on your dreams, like making sure you commit and get your body, your mind right. You're talking about balance in terms of balancing the full effort you're putting towards the game, but also allocating time to develop yourself professionally.
Sure. When I say the word balance, is not a 50-50. It's not an even balance on a scale.
Yeah.
It is the balancing act, though. It is. It's an active balancing act. So you putting in. I'm not putting in 50% of the time in football and 50% of the time in music.
Yeah.
I'll be a shitty football player. That's not the case.
Right. That's a good point of clarification.
Right. It's finding those windows. It's time and place for these other things. That's the balancing act. So when I'm in football, I'm in the season, I'm not making music.
Yeah.
I'm not seeking deals. I'm not doing all those other things when I'm in season. But when I'm off season, I take time away from the game and I get into those other opportunities. That's the balancing act.
100%. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to give a shout out to my boy Shagun Olubi, linebacker on the Colts, who told me, hey, bro, I would love to do this podcast, and we're going to talk, but I need you to give me 9 months because the season, I'm going dark.
It's his balance.
And that's what he did.
That's his balance.
And I was like, wow, that's impressive. First off, we got to start with Stead, right? R&B, rap, what's your kind of style? For those that don't know, give us your like music style.
No, I'm a rapper. I'm a rapper. I get into a more aggressive style, a little bit more up tempo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like aggressive. What is it? Are we like young boy aggressive? Or are we like
not the young boy aggressive? No, not the YNs. I'm not crashing out. But more like Moneybag Yo, Future, Money Man. That style and cadence. Yeah. Just some of my influences. Wayne, always been a Wayne fan. His creativity, his bars, and all that. Fan of Drake and a ton. I really love music, so I kind of just pick a little bit from each artist and molded my own brand of artistry.
I know you live here, but I don't know if you have a stake in this conversation. Houston versus Dallas rap. I'm taking Houston all day, man. Slim Thug, Travis Scott, Paul Wall.
No, I wouldn't argue that. I'm taking Houston.
Does your music, your interest in music, that becoming more acceptable, throughout your career, did that actually help you open up and look at the other business opportunities? Because it's like, hey, if people are cool with me doing music, all right, then maybe let's explore like another avenue. Oh, real estate. Okay, cool. Or was there a different sort of timeline for you?
What I would say, it was the opening of the balancing act.
Yeah.
Because when I first got in, I was such a shut up and play player.
Yeah.
Like that was me. I was 1,000% football. Training.
Well, they don't have many studs from Pine Bluff, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, right?
That's true. Not too many. But I felt that void. I was missing that music is an avenue for me to express and to release stress and all those good things. So it was like therapeutic to me. And I was only doing football, only focusing on football. I wasn't playing basketball no more. I wasn't doing anything else. And so when I got back into music, that opened up the balancing act that I can go 1,000% in my profession and I can still have time. And it's not just have time, but it's needed. It's necessary to have that. And music was the one that it got me back level.
Let's start in the place that's most comfortable for you, the place that you've dabbled in the most. Would you say that's the real estate side of things, or is it somewhere else? Like, and why did you start with a specific sector?
Yeah, I would say real estate may be my most comfortable form of business now. It's something I'm really, really interested in. This real estate superstar named Teal Henderson. Yeah, she has been monumental for me on the education side more than anything. She's taught me so much about real estate because coming up, like I would hear guys talk about, I do real estate. What does that even mean? Yeah. No idea. You own a bunch of houses, you got people renting them out, or apartment buildings. I had no idea. So I started to research, started to go through residential and multifamily. Airbnb started to grow rapidly throughout my career. So started to look into those opportunities. And I've done some residential properties. I haven't done any multifamily. I have a couple commercial properties, but I'm like 1,000% of going only commercial and only triple net lease at that. Like only net lease. It's for me, it makes the most sense. It is very, very hands off. It's more of a mailbox money, passive income. When you have the right setup and you have the right tenants. So, I'm essentially a landlord for Chase Bank and Starbucks, Target Supercenter, Costco, you know what I mean? So
there's some big names.
Those people can pay their rent. I don't have to knock on a door and look for them or, so and we're locked into long leases, 20-year leases with 5-year options on the back end of it. So for the next 25 years, I'm collecting rent from Target.
Passively.
I like that
Yeah.
business model. I do.
100%. It's one thing to get educated, but it's another thing to make the wire that first check.
Yeah.
You talk about your very first investment. What was it, and how did you feel? Was it like rookie training camp? Like what?
Yeah.
What's the comparison?
Yeah. So I was 4 or 5 years into the league at this point, and like I'm watching Drew Brees from afar, watching Marcus Colston and some of the other guys.
Shout out to Marcus, friend of the pod.
Yeah, he's amazing. So I'm watching these other guys, Jari Evans, and they're doing some business. And Jari was big into real estate in Pensacola. He was buying properties in Pensacola, Florida. And so I'm asking questions, and now I want to get into it, right? I want to start getting into business and becoming an investor. So my first didn't go too well.
Well, talk about it, man. If you can speak
gate.
on it, we want to hear the highs and the lows.
Yeah, so one of my old teammates came to me about a delivery app, like a cannabis delivery, weed delivery app. And it was like, it's going to be the next biggest thing is going to be Uber Eats of weed. And it's just going to kill it.
Yeah.
Right. And sounded good to me. Unexperienced ears and a ambitious mind. I'm in it. Let's do it. So I invested into the company. Weed wasn't even legal. So I don't even, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, didn't really do much due diligence, didn't do much work into the investment. So
but the concept of a legal plug.
Man, what?
Yeah.
They can bring you the weed and the snacks. So I was like, yeah, I'm in. What?
Right.
Makes sense. Yeah, weed wasn't even legal.
Wasn't even legal in California?
We were in Louisiana.
Right. It was a Louisiana-based business.
It was a Louisiana-based. It was kind of like a countrywide business, but they wanted to start it in Louisiana.
It wanted to start in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Obviously with the hopes of every company wants to be nationwide, right? You
Right.
start someplace.
Right.
But it was in Louisiana where it was not legal yet.
I don't think it was legal anywhere, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What year was this?
This 2016, 17.
We'll have to fact check the coastal states, but
Right.
it doesn't matter because you're in the South.
Yeah, it wasn't. So it didn't go far. Yeah. So that's a loss.
It happens.
That's a loss.
So that was your first investment ever.
Yeah.
Okay. What about real estate?
First investment, real estate. Real estate, I've done well. Honestly, I have, and it could have been more so just luck and getting properties that were in location, because that's all I knew about real estate. Location. That's all I kept saying.
Right.
So even my house that I bought it where I did in Louisiana on purpose. Gated community, guard gates, all that. You know what I mean? So that appreciation over time and the development of that community, when I sold, I won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So real estate, I did fairly well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think I heard someone also tell me they say the phrase location, but I had this business professor at Rice who teaches sort of real estate and venture as well, and he always liked to say timing.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. I just got chills, because I would say that is probably more important. That's probably the most important component of real estate. Is the timing. It's the climate. It's the market.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the most. Damn, that's probably the most important word in real estate.
Yeah. How do you like nowadays? You know, you've been in the game for a little bit now. When we talk about timing, what kind of signals or what news do you consume that you can find out whether the time is right to invest in a region? Yeah. Like, what do you have any resources you can share?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there are some really, really good realtors here that exist that pay attention to the market.
In Dallas?
Not even just in Dallas, across the country.
Okay.
There's some that's really good at their job, and they're really good at the off-market world of real estate, because that's where it is. Anytime a commercial building or a property is on the market, it's been watered down. It's been, you know what I mean? It's not the most potent deal.
Yeah.
It's the off-market deals that's the ones, that's the key. So trying to get into that world of real estate, you building relationships, creating a network, having success with, people and experience. But the off-market deals are the golden ones. But then as you get more knowledge of it, you start paying attention to the market. If interest rates are high, people not buying.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So all those things go hand in hand. The current climate of the economy directly goes into real estate.
Yeah.
So if people are interest rates 3%, people are going to start buying. They're going to start buying houses.
Would you say the off-market real estate deals are like the club that you're not supposed to get into, that everyone wants to get into?
That's the club you want to get into, for sure. It is. And nope, everyone doesn't have access. I mean, unless you are looking for those and you're trying to get into those channels, it's opportunities for sure. But it's network driven.
Yeah,
it's network driven. A lot of these deals are being made. A Chase Bank could be coming for sale, and you have no idea. But by the time it hits a platform like Crexy, the commercial real estate version of like Zillow,
right?
That's not the deal you want anymore. But if you could have got it before it ever got on that platform, then yeah.
I love to use this example with, early stage tech deals also can be used in real estate. No one wants to go to the club that's like, come in, we got to open space for you. The club with the line, through behind the curb. Yeah, that's the club you want to get into, right. And it's like the same thing with these off market deals.
That's a fact.
And so, look, you've built up you have an incredible NFL career. You have a business acumen. How do you wiggle your way into the stuff that I can't get into? Give me the sauce. I want to get an advantage.
Relationships, network, asking questions. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the biggest things of not being afraid. No one is unapproachable. That part, and if you're a good person, you come with good energy, good intent. I mean, you start a conversation, you get into certain rooms. It's really just that, not being afraid to hear no, or not being afraid of rejection. Starting conversations, sitting with the ones that have been highly successful for a long time. Spend some time with them, ask questions, try to figure out how they did it, and it's really no secrets, man. All the answers are out there. All the answers out there that in existence. So we're really just trying to find them and build that network.
100%. And Dallas is a great place to do that.
Great place.
What I've learned.
Great place.
Through talking to some of our other Dallas guests. Also Tariq Black, another great guy in the Dallas area. Played for the Rockets, Lakers. Moving on from real estate, I want to get your thoughts on this, because I see a lot of athletes attach their name or invest in CPG brands. Talk about food, beverage. You're an investor in good sport. Mm-hmm. Give us some context there on that investment, and then I want to ask you I want to pick your brain on CPG.
Yeah. So good sport. This lady, she's a boss. Yeah. Really, like a hustler. She's someone that you believe in because of her work. And when I'm investing in companies, I really go about that. The CEO. Who's the CEO? Who's the owner? Who's going to be the driving force of the company?
Founder. Yep.
So I could love the idea, love the concept, but I meet the CEO, or I just listen to him, and I don't see people doing business with him. I don't see the deals being done and the handshakes being made. So I would rather not. Michelle McBride, she's incredible, and she's the reason I got into good sport. For the longest, I really stay away from food, beverage. I do, because perishables and all type of other liabilities. I stay away from food and beverage for the most part. But Michelle, she brought forth a concept of hydration that is different, is unique, and it's proven. It works. So good sport is derived from milk. They take all the protein enzymes and lactose is completely lactose free. Take all that stuff out and just the liquid. So just the water base that's in natural milk is full of electrolytes, like natural electrolytes. So that's what the science behind good sport is. And Gatorade doesn't have it. All these they don't have it. So I was watching Kobe and what he did with Body Armor.
Right.
And it was like timing. It's like perfect timing. I was like, want to get into it. I want to get into a good sport. I believe in Michelle. I believe in what this brand is doing, and now just in like 2 years, Good Sport is in all the Walmarts in the Midwest, is in all the Costco's in the South. She's on the shelf, you know what I mean? Like on the shelf next to Body Armor, on the shelf next to Gatorade, and just 2 short years, she's working. She's working. So I'm a big fan of the brand, and I can see it continuing to grow.
I get what you're saying about the risk of CPG. You know, there's so many things that can go wrong, but one thing I do like about it is you can try the damn product before you buy.
That's a fact.
And when I mean buy, for you, invest. Did you get? Of course, you got asked for samples, right? You
Yeah.
tried it out, tasted it. What'd you think?
I actually came to them first.
Okay.
After trying it at a summit here in Dallas, O-Line Masterminds put on by Duke Manyweather. I tried Good Sport a few times, and then while training, I was drinking. I'm like, you know what? I want to figure out who's behind it. So that's when I found who the source was, and I ended up talking to Michelle, and we sat down, and yeah.
Did when you were sipping it, did it make you were like, oh, this is making me train well, or was it the taste, or did you also notice your performance with both?
It felt different. It felt like it was doing something for me. So I'm reading the bottle. I'm like, yeah, this is different. So I don't know. Maybe it was mental, but I felt more rehydrated, and it made me seek to find more answers.
I want to know what you said to Michelle when you met her.
Yeah.
Like, you know, was she raising around? Like, what was that initiation like?
Actually, she wasn't. Good Sport was not in a raise when I approached her. I told her I loved the product. I wanted to know more about it and see if there was a way to get involved, whether it's as a brand ambassador or maybe potentially as an investor, be a part of the company. And we talked for a while. The connection was organic. She felt like my brand and who I am fit really well with Good Sport. So Good Sport, the music behind it is good. Being a good sportsman, being a good person, doing good in the community. So she came to my youth football camp I had in my hometown, Cahokia, Illinois. And by the time it was over, she saw the impact. We had over 1,000 kids, just feeding the community. Everyone's running around, and it really was emotional for her to see and be a part of. And she was like, you know what, I want you to be a part of Good Sport. And Thaddeus Young he's also.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to my guy, Thad. Good price? Did you get a good price?
It's a good price. It's a good price. It's a good price. Buy in bulk.
Yeah. No, I mean,
They go fast.
the
Did I
valuation.
get in at a good price?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I got in for growth, no dividends, not being paid anything right now. I got in for the growth factor of it, and it's growing.
Do you feel like you related to Michelle, or you guys connect with each other because of how similar your professional football journey was her to her entrepreneurship journey? I mean,
I can see that. Yeah. She is an outlier. You know, me coming from a small school, outlier, wasn't supposed to have the career that I had traditionally or historically. And yeah, I can see that from her as a woman, as the force and the face behind a company in sports, football, basketball. Like, she's driving it. Yeah, I can see that connection.
100%. How many of your peers do you think would be better off if they took just that one extra leap, and the products that they're wearing or trying, they actually took that extra leap to go meet the founders of companies?
Nothing negative can come behind it. Nothing. Only positive, only growth, only experience, learning, connections, and maybe even financially. It's hard, you know what I mean? Some brands are massive. You're not gonna really sit down with Nike just because you wear Nikes, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Some of those brands are a little too big to approach at the moment, but I take that back. Nothing's too big, man. Nothing's too far away. If that's your goal and that's your dream, I'm a huge fan to go after it.
What is your thoughts when you were playing, and now maybe your thought process has evolved? Cash versus equity, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you're thinking about, do you think if you approach Good Sport your rookie season, you would have wanted to do cash for promotion, and you know, when you approached them now, you're more thinking about equity?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on cash versus equity while you're playing?
Timing.
Yeah.
goes back to timing.
Yeah.
And what makes the most sense. I am an equity player. That's me. That's what I would.
My man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hey, man, that's what we do.
That's what I would prefer to do.
Yeah.
Younger me though, yeah, like y'all paying me $1,000 to do this, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if I can get 500 shares to do it, would be way better.
Yeah.
But early on, you don't really see it that way at all. You don't really see it that way unless you know finance and you know what these shares actually mean. Because at first I had no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it still goes into timing. So
Right.
if it's a lump sum of cash that I can use the liquidity and do more with, I'm interested. But for the most part, I'm an equity player.
Dude, my eyes lit up. It was crazy. Our last episode was with Michael Taft, Texas safety, and Michael is in a tier of college athlete that has such a strong NIL-based salary from the school that college athletes now are looking at startups and equity-related deals. Isn't that crazy?
It's different, bro.
Could you imagine when you were at Pine Bluff, like trying to think about like that's just a crazy concept.
Yeah, no, it is. Listen, man, I didn't learn finance till years into the league.
Yeah,
years, and I get frustrated and I get upset at myself for it taking so long, and for not knowing what I didn't know. The ignorance of it pisses me off, and but that's why I really try to submerge myself and learn so that I know and I can teach the ones that's coming up under me the importance. And it's vital. It's as important as anything else that you'll do in your life, like understanding finances, know what's money and what to do with it.
Yeah.
From credit to taxes, you can save money, you can make money by just having that knowledge. And
right.
It's the reason why I have my foundation and community center is to teach financial literacy and business acumen early so they don't have those disadvantages, because it's a huge advantage when you know. Absolutely.
You know what I wish was taught more to athletes, and this is a really harsh conversation that athletes need to understand, is the concept of the power laws, meaning that the power law is basically the philosophy that the top 1% in any industry gets like 90% of all the revenue and rewards. So we think about the top hip hop artists outperform, their albums outperform the other 90% of hip hop artists trying to come up. You mentioned earlier in your, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, the top guys in the NFL are getting all these ridiculous brand and deals and equity just handed to them. And if you're not in that power law category, that doesn't mean you're not an amazing football player. There's other stuff that goes into it, like your position, your marketability, your background, etc. What I wish was taught to athletes was like, even though you could be an incredibly credible offensive lineman, you still may have to be proactive in terms of seeking out companies versus expecting all of them to come to you.
Right.
My philosophy is like, look, when Good Sport is like post Series E or is a billion-dollar company, they're going to start to look for like a Mahomes or a Kevin Durant or someone to be the face of the brand because they can afford it. Right. And that's what they want. But if you're an athlete and can find that future Good Sport earlier on and get that equity and use your platform to help them get to the next level, it's a win-win for everybody. Sure. And I think that's the one thing I wish was taught with athletes and financial literacy, is the understand concept of the power law. If you're not going to be, you don't think you'll be in that 0.1%, and it may not have to do with your skill set.
Right.
Like there's more skills you'll have to learn than your star teammate.
Yeah. No, I agree. I can see it happening more.
Yeah.
It's becoming more normal, but not as much as you would like to see. Yeah. Guys really understanding that, that Tyreek Hill might be the one on the team that gets the Gatorade deal, but this Good Sport deal is incredible. Right. Can be the brand ambassador, can get equity, and can grow with the company. And that leads me into Jeter Cannabis, right? That you've invested in. Yeah. My dog. Yeah, packaged pre-roll. It's legal now, so we're good. Yeah, you know what I mean? Good. That you can actually like buy them, and it's a company that's killing. For sure. What was that interaction with the founder? Let's go back to. Yeah. It seems like you've got this pattern of meeting the right person. Facts. I do. This one was interesting. This story. For 30 years, I didn't drink or smoke. Didn't touch anything. and I started to dabble in cannabis later in my career. Just from hearing the benefits of being able to rest, and recovery, and release stress from a game, and all those good things. Because I would come home from an away game, we would land back from Buffalo at 2 a.m. and I'm up till 7 a.m. Can't sleep. Just how the adrenaline and the rush of the game is.
Yeah.
So cannabis really helped in that space, and so I hated the smell though. I hated the smell of smoke, and which is why I didn't do it for 30 years.
Right. So
then I go to LA for one of my friend's birthday and had this joint, and it was a Jeter. It was different. Tastes good, smelled good. I'm like, yo, I like this.
Cue the Snoop Dogg, like Kendrick Lamar. Smoke it, you
No, for real. And I was a 2-hit guy, so I get my 2 hits. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fucking with this. This is smooth.
Yeah,
I like it. And so I go back to Miami. I had just signed with the Dolphins. This was before I signed with the Dolphins. So boom, then I signed with the Dolphins. And I'm in Miami. I hit up my guy. I'm like, yo, what was the name of that joint that you had? That was crazy. Send me the name of it. And I go to the Instagram page or whatever, and they got a message. I have a message in the Instagram DM from them guys, and they're like, bro, we're huge Dolphins fans. Thank you so much for signing with us. Like, man, this is great. We just landed the number 1 free agent of the year. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, yo, that is crazy that you guys are Dolphins fans based in LA.
They reached out to you first?
I had a message already sitting there.
They were just glazing you?
Fans, just fans of huge Dolphins fan. They grew up in Miami. Like, man, killer signing. Like, thank you for coming.
I wish
to
the
Dolphins.
company I want to invest in would message me first. That's like a sitting omen. It's like a gift.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy because I was going to message them. So listen, guy, I just tried your brand for the first time. I loved it. Would love to connect. All that good stuff, you know what I mean? And so I ended up meeting the guys, friends, like truly friends. They are great humans, 2 sets of twins, and I have twin daughters. So like that connection, we had the twin telepathy going on. And so my guy Lucas, he's one of the CEOs. Me and Lucas, we talk quite a bit. They like made me my own personalized box of cannabis. So I had my own 3 flavors.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Damn.
And really we were just organically going and vibing. We talk, we link up if we're in the same city, whatever. And I came to them about another opportunity I got presented from another cannabis company. And Lucas was like, no, hell no. If you're gonna do anything cannabis, you're doing it with us.
Yeah.
So
stay on that side.
It was they wasn't they don't raise. Like they haven't raised it at all yet to date. And they was like, man, let's do this family and friends thing, and yeah.
So you sparked like a little friends and family round from them.
I did.
Obviously the product was amazing. I think we can all understand that was kind of what caught your attention at first. But then when you spoke with the founder, like what was the outlier trait with him? Right?
Yeah.
Like Michelle had something that you guys clicked. What was this? What was this for you?
These guys they're immigrants. I can't even say from a small country. I can't even say like.
Do you know the first letter?
I do not. I do not. Lucas and Patrick come from. I can't even know the name of the country.
All good.
But then Sebastian and his brother Solano, they come from Colombia, so they all have been living raised in Miami. They started a music company where they threw festivals, and they grew this festival to it was like Rolling Loud. Like it was huge. They created
what
this.
What was the festival called? Do you remember?
I'll have to go back and look. But they had this festival and they did it for years, and they made money on it. And so they got out of music because of that just wasn't what they wanted to do long term. It was hard. They got out of music and they took all the money from that they made in creating those festivals, started Jeter. And so just the grind, like the work that they put in, it was just
their experience.
Inspirational.
This is their second time going around. Experience, founder, track record.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's so interesting.
It was inspirational. Like it was motivational. Like the way that they did it from nothing, like from the ground up, just hustling and creating flyers and just they did it.
Yeah.
And they're doing it again.
You like finding the grinders, the under the radar, like
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
It makes sense.
I connect with
Cahokia, Pine Bluff.
Facts. I connect with them.
Yeah. You think that's I mean, you think your background upbringing has helped you kind of understand these opportunities better or kind of vet people?
No question. It's who I am. It's who I am. You know, I'm a worker, someone that started from a starting line that was different than most, but we're here and we're working towards just being the best me that I can possibly be.
Yeah.
Every day, just going after that daily progression. And I connect with people that's in that similar line.
100%. We always ask NFL players to come on the show. You know, people ask you, what was your welcome to NFL moment? But considering yourself an investor / entrepreneur, what was your like welcome to business moment? Where you're like, oh shit, this can control my destiny. This is real. This is a big boys game.
Yeah, no. That Jeter investment was huge for me because it was like the first time that I can really see the profits and revenue of a company. Like they are really producing. It's an active company. You know what I mean? So that was a big investment for me. Everything else was more so just growth potential or startup. Like we haven't really started seeing the numbers come back yet. We can't show you these statements or whatever. And that was more of just the belief in the company and smaller deals. And Jeter was a big one. And Marquez is another. That's another one. It's a data analytics company that I invested in a couple years ago. That is in a world that I had really no idea.
Yeah, that one's crazy because that's, you know, you spoke a little bit of that before we hit record, but you want to speak a little about what the company does? And
yeah. So for me in investing, I always invested in companies that I had understanding of, that I knew more about. So sports, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Cannabis, I was dabbling into that. I was learning more about that. Real estate, of course, living in the house, have this property. You know what I mean? So like that's where I would invest. I didn't get into restaurants because I didn't know much about it. I didn't get into just other things. Tech was something I didn't touch.
Yeah.
So my wealth advisor here in Dallas, Ed Batowski, he brought forth this investment opportunity, which he does quite a bit. But it was something about Marquez that really caught my attention. And it's a data analytics company that takes all your business information, business credit, and it is stored in the cloud. And if you're verified, if you can get your small business, big business verified on Marquez, they have the other side of the platform is the big banks and the ones that has the money and have the loans that you need in order to. And what really drew me to it is because it's the small business, small Black-owned business that they're doing well in their local community. They want to grow, they want to expand, but they don't have the track record to go to JP Morgan or Chase and get a business loan for $200,000.
Right. And they're not going to raise venture capital.
They're not going to raise
another capital. They need another stream of capital. And they need to get verified and make sure that they're a trustworthy business. So this platform allows them to do so.
It allows them to do so to where that JP Morgan don't even have to go and do a background check on their business or who owns it or is the owner of this business a Black man or a guy from Iraq or a guy from Vancouver. It doesn't matter. They're verified. They're a certified company. So Marquez is that ultimate middleman. It takes all your business data, and we have a platform that it can help you to get verified. So, all right, you're missing this. You're missing these returns from 2023. You know what I mean? So it helps you get verified. JP Morgan trusts the platform to where that small business that for 30 years they've been in existence, couldn't get a business loan.
Yeah.
It's done. And I loved it. It's really growing small businesses. Like that's the goal behind it. And it's also protecting the large companies too, the banks, because they're doing business with a verified company that's trustworthy that'll be able to pay the loan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
man, we got real estate, sports drink, tech. You're 33. What are the next 40 years? Like if this is an indication of the next 40 years from you, what are we going to expect?
I mean, listen, I'm gonna continue to jump into business and these different sectors of business through relationships, through my network. I'm huge on that. Like, I'm huge on who I know. I cherish my relationships, and it's not for nothing, but just to that's who I am. I'm big on relationships and watering it. You know what I mean? Spending time in it, helping people. I feel like I do a lot for people, and the what people can do for me is they can teach me. They can teach me. So I ask questions about your life and what you got going on, what you're doing, and just off my network, I will continue to go through business and have business opportunities.
In your retirement post, you mentioned your most proud moment was being named team captain 7 times.
Yeah.
That speaks about your leadership. What leadership qualities that you've seen in the NFL that you like to look in with the entrepreneurs that you back?
It's a great question.
That's what we do here. We got to ask you the hard, the hard-hitting stuff.
Leadership is universal. No matter the business, sport, the realm of leadership, wherever you are, as a leader, so all the traits are the same.
Yeah.
The patterns should be the same. Being selfless, being a servant, being an educator, being a demonstrator, being someone that leads by example, having your things in order, leading you first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the most important part of leadership, is to be able to lead you, because you're watching you 24/7. You don't get a break from you.
Right.
So if you're hard on somebody, or you want someone to perform a certain way, you
better do it as yourself.
You know what I mean? So leading you first. And so no matter if you're the head coach of a football team, if you're the CEO of a tech company, if you're Till Henderson, the CEO of Bones Investment Group, you're Chip Pausick, and Caleb Thornhill, the CEO of PAC, Pro Athlete Community, those same leadership traits have to show. That's what drives me. You pay attention to your teammates, you strengthen your teammates, and you try to nurture new leaders.
So that could be going to the site, putting your hard hat on and hammering a nail or two to show, your team like you're in this. It could be maybe delivering the cannabis yourself, the founder delivering the pre-rolls themselves to a customer, getting your hands dirty there. It sounds like,
whatever's needed.
I'm not, there was this Bible verse. I'm not to get like too biblical here, but like it was a phrase like, before you remove the salt in someone's eye, remove the plank in yours. Something like that, making sure that you're doing your thing
for sure
before you get on someone else. Yeah, that's an important trait. That's like, that's why I'm so big on athletes connecting with the best founders. Because like they both share the same qualities, they just don't know it.
Facts.
And I like to talk about accountability a lot, which is kind of what you mentioned, and being and over communicating.
Yeah,
that's the big one for me.
Communication. Yeah,
over communicating. I rather, like I tell our team, I rather say TMI than where the fuck you at.
All right.
Like, make me say TMI. Right. Not like where the fuck are you?
Yeah, no, for
you know
sure.
What I mean?
I like that. That.
That's a huge one for me. I've noticed that the best entrepreneurs that I've had the privilege of interacting with respond to email fast as shit. How are you responding to me so quick? Don't you?
Right.
Going on CNBC in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just like the nature. It's like the busiest people are actually the most like responsive, and
right.
That's what I've seen. It's fascinating.
No, I'd agree. Yeah, I know a guy here, Terry LaCour. He's a multi-billionaire out of North Dallas, and he is. I can text him right now. 10 seconds. It'll
response.
Yeah, no, for sure. And he is busy. He's always going. He's on the phone. He's on his. But he's another guy that I really am inspired by the way that he balances. And as a husband and a father, as a basketball coach.
Yep.
but also running his businesses and being a leader. Like I see him lock in and delegate, and I need you to do this, boom, boom, and like the communication is clear, it's concise. And then I see him go coach our girls basketball team.
Yeah,
he's inspirational.
I see you getting your coach on too.
I do a little
bit. Little bit. You teaching the shooting form, your daughters?
Yeah, I work with my girl. I'm right-handed.
Okay.
Yeah, we all. My kids are too. Yeah. We go get some work in, the fundamentals. A lot of this stuff is parallel, man. Football, basketball, like all these sports is techniques, fundamentals. You know what I mean? So really just hone it and reps.
Yeah.
So I really just teach that.
100%. Before we get out of here, I want to tease a little bit of what you may be working on soon, which is your own YouTube show.
Yeah. I
know it's very early concepting, but let's brainstorm here, man. What are you thinking? Like, how can we help? You know what I mean? What do you got?
I have some ideas in mind. I have to start putting on paper.
Yeah.
And really see it birth. But I want to start my own YouTube channel. In one sector of it, I want to be a voice and educator.
Okay.
Of what's going on in the trenches in football. So O-line and D-line.
Okay.
I want to be someone that can help the viewer really know and diagnose what is happening. Like, how did that sack happen, or how did he miss that block, or how did we spring this 80-yard touchdown? I want to be able to educate the common fan to where they can quickly see, oh, it was this guy that made this block using this technique, and this is why this happened.
Right.
So I want to be that, kind of like Detail, how Kobe and Peyton Manning had to show detail. I want to get into that.
But for O-linemen.
For O-line, D-line, for sure.
Oh, dude, you and Doc are definitely going to have to, I feel like he would love that.
That's a fact. I would definitely be
Protector of the Year. I wish we had the award when you were playing, but.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doc been, Big Snow, he been pushing for that.
You should know to buy. Shout out my guy, Doc.
He's the man, for real. I'm a huge fan of his game, man, and him as a person. He's dope.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have him on the show. But he's talked about the award for years, and I definitely supported him and was backing it. I feel like I would have had one or two of them.
One or two.
You know what I mean? Out of my 12-year career, But my show too, we'll have an award. We'll have an award once I get up everything going, because we're studying who's playing the best. You know what I mean? I'll know.
Yeah,
I'll know. We'll be paying attention.
What's the film platform for football? For basketball, it's like Synergy. What do you guys use to break down film?
Exos, Thundercloud.
So you'll be in Thundercloud?
Well, we'll see. I know it might be some type of regulations, or I got to figure out what film platform I can use.
I feel like you can. You'll find.
Yeah, I hope so. But that'll be one part of my show, and another part that I'm really trying to map out is kind of like how the nightcap situation is more free, is more of a vibe.
Yeah.
I want to be able to talk business and, athletes and assets.
Yep.
I want to be able to talk music, talk cannabis even, or whatever, you know what I mean? Just have that freedom to do so. And I have my viewers that want to come listen and engage.
Yeah.
So
I got some thoughts on that. I think I like to see a lot of athletes start their content and they try to do like a million things in one show. It confuses the viewer. Right. So what I would do is like dedicate a podcast just to the film breakdown, and then maybe
two different shows for sure.
Yeah,
that's two different shows.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And then you could do it show wise, or if you're having a nightcap situation, you start IG Live or something like that. But the point is like, make sure they know what they're getting when they come on the show, right? Because you start chatting about, sliding your feet and your hands, and then the next segment you bring on like Ocho, and like you guys are talking about like cannabis delivery. It's just like there's so much. There's so much going on, right?
Facts,
Facts. So gonna be two. Do you think about two different shows?
I'm thinking about two different. Yeah.
The Stead Network. Club Stead or not Stead Media.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it big, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me? We're gonna do it.
I mean, that's what we're seeing now. I think like creators are now becoming entrepreneurs. So like Shannon Sharp went from talent to entrepreneur. He started Club Shay Shay and Shay Shay Media.
For sure.
But I think like if you're really serious into this and it can get really big, then just start it from the beginning.
Right.
And then it's yours. You have the ownership.
Got you.
Yeah.
For sure. Appreciate that.
Hell yeah, man. Anything else before we get out of here? What can we expect you then? I know I talked about 40 years, but what are you most excited about like these next 5 years?
Really, man, I'm present, bro. I'm being present, like right now.
Yeah.
I'm focused on right now my kids. I've spent a lot of time away during the season, so they was living here while I was in Miami.
Sure.
During the season, and so just being present. You know, they have great things going on in their athletic lives. My twins are getting ready for AAU National Championship to be repeat champs. You know, we won it last year, trying to repeat. My son playing football and basketball. But then for me, I'm starting my show. I'll be doing some work in the league too, scouting, consulting, you know what I mean, with a couple ball clubs. So I'll be pretty busy.
Busy guy, but hey, that's what we bring on busy guys on the show. So it's not a surprise, man. Another great episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with Stead. Terron, thank you so much, man, for joining us.
Thank you.
This is awesome, man.
Sure.
Please like, subscribe. You know where to find us. And hopefully have you on again, man.
Let's do it.
Years.
Let's do it.